Hi, my name is Susan Constantine, and I am a body language expert and leadership coach. If you were to select me as your keynote speaker, trainer, or coach, is that number one, that they will leave that day with skills that they can take out into the field.
I got the feedback that I knew I was going to get. Susan was one of the favorite keynotes.
Body language expert specializing in human behavior and facial recognition, Susan Constantine.
Susan Constantine is a body language expert.
Got jury consultant and body language expert Sue Constantine with us.
The first thing we're going to do is what? What are we going to do with someone when we want to find out whether they're telling the truth? Are we going to do what? Number one is to norm. You have to norm them. The next thing I'm going to do is, because I'm going to come right down here, and I'm going to ask them questions to norm them. And then from there, while I'm norming them, each one of them, I want you to watch their body language. Does anything change? Watch their body language, because this is going to create your baseline. Once you create your baseline behavior, and each one of them tells you a little story about the funniest thing that has ever happened to them, I'm going to open this up to you guys to start throwing questions to my panel. Because after about 5 or 10 minutes, we're going to determine who you think is telling the truth and who's going to lie to you. Are you ready? All right. Can you hear me down here? Okay, so tell me a little bit. Are you here from this area?
Yes.
Okay. You're married, obviously, right? Got a couple kids? One. Okay. Where's a favorite place to go on vacation?
Favorite place is Tybee Island, Georgia.
And why do you like that so much?
That's our honeymoon.
Aww, so there's a lot of real sensitive moments there, and that's really great. And so would your wife say the same thing?
I hope so.
Okay, and tell me a little bit about why you're here at this convention, but did you take a couple days off and just enjoy your trip?
Working right now. This is how I work.
This is how you work? So tell me what that work is, how you work with your hands on your legs like that, sitting here in a chair in front of everybody.
I'm afraid to say or do anything.
Okay, so what do you do for work? Tell me exactly what you do as an editor.
Not a whole lot. But my boss is here, so I...
Oh, okay, so that is impressive, boss.
You know, I edit.
You edit. I edit too. You mean I can become an editor just
Right,
because I know how to edit? I can do that with spell check.
Yeah. I try that sometimes.
I do too. Okay, great. Let's go over to the sheriff. Mr. Sheriff.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, you got an important job. You even look important. Look at his shoulders. Man, look at him. Right? What drives you to want to wake up in the morning, other than coffee?
I wanted to go to work.
You want to go to work?
I enjoy my work, and I like to do it, and I want to catch the bad guy.
You want to catch the bad guy. So
That means he's running for re-election.
yeah, he is running for re-election. Hey, look at the big smile. Did you see that? Okay, that was a genuine smile. Everybody vote for me.
And that's what I
And you write about him, right? Okay, so tell me, what is the one thing that you really, really love about your job? I know you like to catch the bad guys, but tell me why.
We get to help people. We get people that many times at the lowest point that they can ever be, and retrieve their child, retrieve their property, get the person that's done something terrible to them, or many other ways that we help people.
Great, that's excellent. Well, thanks for sharing. So now you saw different body language each one of them, didn't you? Okay, so that's the norming process, just stuff to kind of open up. You just kind of hitchhike off of things that they say, and then you just kind of go with it. How many of you think this gentleman, this wonderful gentleman, is telling you the lie? Anyone? How many? Okay, a few scattered here and there. All right, what about this gentleman right here? Woohoo! A lot of you did, right? Raise those hands again. Gee whiz, guys, you're such a good liar. Anyway, how many people thought he was lying? The sheriff. All right. Why did you think he was not telling the truth? What did you notice about him? Facial expressions. Okay. All right, and you know what? Everyone thought he was telling the truth, right? What about him?
Oh, yeah.
He was telling the truth? No, he was not telling the truth. So between these two you think are not telling the truth, who would it be? Sheriff? Will the real person who was lying please stand up? I think there's a lesson to be learned here, and the point is, y'all need to be coming to my class in Tallahassee, because I can tell you that even federal judges are about 58% accurate in reading people. I sit behind the bench and watch jurors with the judge to be able to determine who I feel is telling the truth and is telling a lie, and it really is an art. But you have to have the training to understand what you're looking for. But how many people would have thought he was full of caca, or so full of caca right here, all right, and just kind of dismissed him? Everything he said just dismissed him. But really, in his body language, did he ever change his body angle? No. It stayed that way the whole time. Let me tell you what this guy did y'all didn't pick up. People, when they lie, they have intense, increased or decreased illustrators. So when he was first telling the story, or when I normed him, he didn't really show very many illustrators with his hand gestures. But when he was telling the story, he was embellishing the story. So you saw lots of hand gestures and movements in his that were hot spots for me. Now, the sheriff here, he was extremely animated. So those are things to also look for, is when someone is being extremely animated, if that's not part of its norm.
What do we do with our hands? I want to see it. Yes. Right. Don't we go, yes. Victory. Interestingly, this gentleman here is blind. He didn't know that when people felt victorious, that they put their hands up and they put their chin up. Victory. No one told him because he couldn't see it. The body responds to how you feel. Victorious. So there's actually research behind it. We found that when Amy Cuddy did some research on checking the saliva, did a saliva test on the hormones of people in different social situations. So in a high-stakes situation where there was a lot at risk, it could be you're going for a big job, you're going to meet a client for the first time, you're going for a promotion, something's got to be at stake. When you took on what we called one of three power poses, you were able to increase your testosterone level, which is your confidence, by 25%. 25%. But we also found that during that time, if you were to contract your body language during those high-stakes social situations, you decreased your testosterone and increased your cortisol, which is your female hormone, by 25%, losing massive power. So just in a power pose, you can make some big, just a little tweaks, you can make some big changes. So what I'd like all of you to do is I want you to stand up. I am powerful. I am brave. I am brave. So when you're in those situations, I want you to take on that power pose. I want you to stand mighty and proud as a woman. I want you to yourself, I am amazing. I am strong. I am one of a kind. And I was made unique. Don't change who you are. Be yourself. Be authentic. And you will become more successful than you ever dreamed in your entire life. But you've got to change the way you think to change your outcome.
One of the things that I really get excited about is when I look out into my audience and I can see that they're contemplating, they're engaged, and they're pondering, how is this all going to really fit for me? When I see those eyes light up and they are engaged and excited, that's what motivates me, knowing that I have impacted their life in some way, that when they leave, that they can actually use the skills that I've trained them out in the field to become more productive, profitable, and more marketable out in the field.